Alright guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we've got the 6.5 PRC out here with the anechoic suppressor, the Triton scope with Discovery Optics rings, and CV Life bipod. I got all kinds of stuff that's been sent to me. In fact, everything that I mentioned's been sent to me, so that's pretty cool. The 6.5 PRC is a modern cartridge. All the stuff I just mentioned are modern equipment. And today we're going to shoot a not modern bullet, the old Partition, the tried and true, excellent hunting bullet that's been around forever. So old meets new today. I'm going to shoot these 140 grain Partitions and see how they do out of this rifle. Also using Peterson brass and Grand powder, so everything but the Partition is pretty new and modern. Now, if you recall the first video, the maiden voyage, I guess you could call it, of the 6.5 PRC, the seas were a little bumpy. Didn't quite go, my glasses are fogging up, didn't quite go as planned. Just really was the first time I've ever shot the rifle, so not a big deal. Didn't seem to like the 120 grain hot cores. I did just a little bit of load development. I'm sure I could have found a load that it did like. But I think today is going to be better. We are going to see how this thing likes these Partitions. I did clean the rifle before I ever shot it in the last video, and I've cleaned it again since then. That's pretty much all the break-in that I'm going to do. Years ago, I used to do crazy break-ins, like clean it after every shot for the first 20 shots. I don't do that anymore. I cleaned it before I shot it the first time, and I cleaned it again, and that's pretty much all the break-in that I'm going to do. I did not have the suppressor on it last time, which I had it on the 7 PRC, but decided to put it on the 6.5 PRC and see how it did. I did check all the torque specs on the scope, rings, and also on the action screws of the rifle. Everything is good. So I feel like I'm definitely ready to test this thing out today. I'm going to start out by shooting kind of a little ladder group, just 3 test shots, going up in grain weight each time of Grand to see kind of where we get. And then we're going to shoot some groups. So let's start out with those 3 test shots. I'm going to make a small adjustment on the scope from where those 3 were hitting. And then I'm going to shoot my first group. You see that last one got to around 3,000 feet per second. And so now we're going to shoot the first group. All right, first group shot. Got me a sip of coffee. I'm gonna head down here and look at the group. Average on that 3-shot group was 30.38, I believe. And the standard deviation was 8.4. Anytime I get a standard deviation under 10, I'm happy. You know, under 5 would be amazing, but if I can get it 10 or below, it's fine. And I'm generally looking for MOA group or less. That's all I really care about. Half MOA would be even better. Let's go down here and see what this group looked like. Well, this is better. Yeah, that's ridiculous. It's a clover leaf. That's fantastic. Hey, it's a welcome change from the last video. I've got the barrel cooling with the barrel cooler inside of it. Let it cool down. We're going to shoot the next group. Will be a half grain more powder, but that's going to be hard to beat there, you know. And before you comment, I understand I need to shoot more than a 3-shot group, but that's a good indication of accuracy. You need to verify it though with more groups, but hey, fantastic. I put it on the screen what it is, but it looks to me like 3/10 of an inch or something, so fantastic. On to the next group. right, come down here and look at this group. 3075 was the average. It's pretty good. Be happy with around 3100 on the last group. 3075 is just fine so far. Standard deviation was 4 on those 3, so that's fantastic. There was a slight bolt lift feel there. I could tell it was a slight bit more. Really, there's no signs of pressure on the back of the case, on the primer, nothing. So I don't think it's overpressure. A slight bolt lift issue, but, and when I say slight, I mean slight. It's not like I'm having to crank on it or nothing, but just I can feel a little bit of a bolt lift issue there. It is around 75 going up quickly, but yeah, really no signs of pressure on the primer at all. Let's look at the group. Well, not as good. Got 2 there about a ½ inch apart, but then you got that one over there that made the group about 1.5 inches. So what I would call a flyer, but yeah, you got 2 pretty close together. The group's about 1.5 inches. So better SD than the first one, but not as good on the grouping, but still not terrible. Let's shoot the last group. All right, the velocity on that last group was exactly where I wanted it, around 3109. That's fantastic. So 3100 out of a 6.5 PRC with a 24-inch barrel is fantastic. Same thing on the bolt lift, slightly, a little bit of bolt lift, not much. The primers still look fine. There's really no signs of pressure. I feel like though I'm right there. And I do have one more shot that I'm going to shot. It's not a group, just one more. It's another half grain up. I'm just going to kind of push the limits and see what it does. This will be the last group. The SD wasn't as good as the second one, but it was still 8.9. So all the SDs were under 10, so that's good. Let's look at the group. All right, you can see about a 2-inch group. So went from less than a ½ inch group, 1.5 inches, 2-inch group. So you can kind of see the pattern as we're creeping up there to the pressure limit, starting to kind of spread out. So based on this, I want to go back to the first load. You know, a little over 3,000 is just fine with 140 grain bullet, and I need to shoot more groups to verify that I get, you know, good groups. I'm not saying they're all going to be that good, but that seems to be where it's at so far. So first group, really good accuracy, still an SD under 10, and you know, 0 pressure and all that. So that's the winner. Let's go ahead and shoot this last one, just one more that I loaded up, just to push that pressure a little bit more and see what happens. All right, 3142. That's fantastic on velocity. Bolt lift wasn't any worse. I could tell the slightest bit of primer being a little bit more flat. Still wasn't really anything to worry about, but I don't think the accuracy is going to be there. So I think that's pretty much the limit. You know, I can get over 3100 if I want to, but I think it's going to start stringing them out. You know, it's 75 degrees-ish at the moment. Might be almost 80, I'm not sure, I haven't checked it. It's going to be like 95. I'm trying to get this video done early. And it's very humid this morning, very humid. So if it's going to, you know, not hit excessive pressure in these conditions, it's probably going to be fine for other conditions. But definitely going back to the first load, 3,000 is just fine, and the accuracy was really good. Need to verify that more though. Old meets new. The old partition still got it. Of course, you're adding a lot of components and a lot of equipment that are all modern and a modern cartridge. But anyway, pretty happy with that first group for sure. Definitely need to verify that it's, you know, that it continues to do that. Big picture though, this day compared to the first day that I shot this gun, much better. Could be that it's starting to get broke in. Could be it just likes the partition, didn't like the 120 grain hot core. Could be the anechoic suppressor on there just is helping it out. It tends to like it. On the next video, I'm going to be shooting 140 grain bond strikes, so stay tuned for that. And I'm going to be using a different powder I've never used before, so stay tuned for that. But Grand powder and partitions and Peterson brass worked pretty well today. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't already. Share this video if you think it's worth sharing. Comment below what are your thoughts on what I put out today. Share your experiences as well. And until next time, take care.